This is from Justin to Kane, a podcast where Mike Robertson and Bob LaRue watch one critically acclaimed film and one terrible film and talk about how they are the same.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to From Justin to Kane, the podcast starring me, Mike, also starring Bob.
Hello, everyone.
And those are the only stars. It's a one of those one location movies.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's just two people in it and they just have an argument about this talk. Yeah.
Yeah. A kitchen sink drama, if you will.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I know things.
You know things. Nobody said you didn't.
I could tell by your vibe.
Yeah. Okay. You got me. Famously not knowing anything, Bob. Yeah. So
shout out to this week's sponsor, LaCroix or LaCroix.
Oh, right. I was going to say as always, but you're usually drinking a bubbly, not a LaCroix.
Yeah. So now it's LaCroix because I got these off of a commercial I was working on. I stole a bunch of LaCroix or LaCroix.
Right.
How do you say it? Did you say LaCroix? LaCroix?
I say LaCroix, but only because I say it wrong on purpose. I think you're supposed to say LaCroix.
I was saying LaCroix genuinely. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, shout out to LaCroix.
So the two movies we're talking about today is the 2020 psychological drama, The Father, directed by Florian Zeller, who also co-wrote it.
Oh.
And
he wrote the play version, right?
And he wrote the play, yeah. He adapted his own damn-ass play.
What a narcissist.
I know, hey.
I'm going to make my play into a movie, and I'm going to write it again.
But he's le narcissiste, because he's from France.
Right.
And then the other movie is called A Gnome Named Gnorm, or A Gnome Named Gnorm, because...
Also a psychological drama.
Also a bit of a psychological drama. I wouldn't really call it a comedy, even if it makes attempts.
Yeah,
it's like a crime.
Not funny. It's quite disturbing.
It's like a police buddy cop drama / I don't know, puppet extravaganza.
Yeah, a lot of great bobos though.
Lots of bobos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a gnome named Norm or a gnome named Gnorm. It's called that because gnome and Norm both have a G at the beginning, a GNO. As like the first three letters.
You know what's fun though? You can spell Norm without the G.
Yes.
They put the G in to really hit it home that it's like, isn't gnome spelled weird?
Yeah. But they missed I'm probably not the first to point this out. I'm not the first to point this out. They should have called it a gnome named Gnorm. It's weird because
what the fuck?
They're going with alliteration, but then they only do like the G joke on two of the letters or on two of the words.
Yeah, why would they do that?
I don't know. Probably because people would look at it and be like, a gnome named Gnorm. Like, it would just cause so much of a nightmare. Like, I mean, the choice that they made makes sense. It actually is the best choice, but it's still stupid in a way.
The film has two titles.
It has many titles.
Yes, but the two main ones, it's A Gnome Named Norm, or in multiple countries, the film is just called Upworld.
Yeah, but you know what? In what country is it? It might be Italy, or it might be... It's called Nomocop.
Oh, I forgot you sent me that poster.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's funny.
Yeah, but
that's some good stuff.
Also, I guess we should give the movie a little bit of context in that explain to the people listening that it is a movie about a gnome who comes from underground and then witnesses a murder. And then for whatever reason, the cop who's there investigating or dealing with the murder just like takes the gnome under his wing. And then it's kind of a buddy cop situation, but I guess he's also he's a witness.
Yeah.
Gnomo cop.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gnomo cop. G-cop.
Yeah.
Just putting a G in front of everything. Ugh.
And then the father, is about It's about a guy who's got dementia, and you kind of see the world through his perspective as and how his relationships kind of are viewed as a person who kind of forgets who's who and where he is and what's going on. It kind of has a twist at the end a little bit, and also kind of has Christopher Nolan-esque kind of distortion of reality, considering that it's like a heavy drama.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, both films have a good twist.
What's the twist in a gnome named Gnorm?
That the police chief was the murderer.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. That was stupid.
And the high-pitched squeal was a hearing aid getting fiddled with.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he's like, scream, or whatever he says. And he's like, he thinks it's a real scream, but it's actually a hearing aid.
Well, there's a similarity right there because friggin' old guy in The Father probably had a hearing aid.
And at the very least, couldn't hear shit.
Yeah. And may have committed a murder and didn't know it, like kind of Fight Club style. That's
true. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Just burping up a storm over here, everyone. I ate $42 worth of sushi and am feeling rough, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Life's for living.
The text conversation beforehand was basically just like, I'm hungry, I'm going to get some sushi. And then later it was just like, I ate so much sushi, I feel bloated.
I made a terrible mistake.
A two-part story. Ernest Hemingway would be just so jealous of how brief your little story was.
Well, I model my texts after his style of simplistic, very punctuated writing. But I always order enough sushi for 2 people, so I get 2 sets of sticks every time, and I always eat it by myself.
Hell yeah.
I wonder if they're onto me yet. I doubt it. Or maybe they are, and they're just like, we'll throw you a bone. We'll make it look like this is for 2 people, but we know you're eating it all to yourself.
You're kind of like a glutton for punishment, but rather just a glutton for food.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So bringing it back
I'm a glutton.
Yeah, you're just bringing it back to the OG roots of gluttony,
Yeah.
You're a sinner.
All podcasters are sinners.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I think the whole podcast landscape is just riddled with sin.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I just think, just a bunch of people talking about stuff nobody asked them to talk about. That's a sin. 2 white guys talking about movies on a podcast?
For a change.
Who wants that?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about The Father.
It is a movie. Won a couple of Oscars last year.
Yeah.
Was nominated for Best Pick. Didn't win. Was nominated for Best Actor. Won. Also won Best Adapted Screenplay, which is a bit of a kind of, it's fine that you can win Best Adapted Screenplay when you're adapting your own work.
But also adapting a play is easier than adapting a book.
And also they shot it like a play.
Yeah, it's in one location the whole time.
It's on one location. They shot it on a stage. So it's kind of like, that's why it kind of feels like a play and is lit like a play.
Yeah.
And just kind of has play vibes because they filmed it like a play, which is like the right choice, but still.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the least path of resistance is what they took.
Yeah. Well, and it worked out for them because they didn't spend that much money on it apparently, and like $3 million or $5 or $6 million bucks, something like that.
Oh wow.
It's in the 5 region.
That's cheap.
And they made $30 million bucks around there. So
wow.
So there you go.
And they won some Oscars.
Goes to show, don't spend a lot of money, make a good movie, win some Oscars. You're guaranteed to make, a little bit of cash off of it.
Hell yeah.
But another route you could take is spend $300 million, have it be like pretty bad, and get critically panned, and then make $100 million
$1 billion
bucks back. I'm just talking about Eternals.
Oh, sick burn. I was wondering where you're going.
That's an Etern burn. I've heard it's like
burn.
average. I've heard it's average.
Is it not making money?
I think that it's not doing as well as the other ones. I'm sure it'll profit because they have a worldwide market to market it to.
Well, it's crazy. Everything just goes on Disney Plus, like 6 to 7 weeks after it comes out.
And Disney Plus, I mean, is so brilliant because they own everything. They don't have to pay licensing fees.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also, it's $6 or something. It's dirt cheap, so you don't even notice that you're paying for it every month. So it's just basically free money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Because
that's crazy.
In the old days, if I bought Disney DVDs, which I really didn't, but if I would have bought a Disney DVD, it would have been once in a blue moon. So they would maybe get $20 from me that year. Whereas if I was subscribing to Disney Plus, they'd get, I don't know, at least
close
whatever
to 100.
6 times 12 is. Yeah.
Yeah. Close to 100 or whatever 6 times 12 is.
How much is it? Is it 56?
It's 52. So we have 6 times 12.
62.
So 6 times 10 is 60. And then the 2, so 12. So it's $72 a year.
I got it wrong so many times. I mean,
it's $72.
I was just kind of guessing at first. And I wasn't really
funny.
doing the math at all. I was just trying to guess, see if I could just guess it without
It's
just
like
seeing if
50,
I could calculate.
52.
Yeah.
62.
So anyway, the father is
Can you say that one more time? You say that
the
real
father.
cool. Oh, I love that. That's great.
So Florian Zeller directed it. It's his directorial debut. Kind of hit a home run really on his first hit there, baseball.
Yeah.
He also co-wrote it with another playwright named Christopher Hampton. So a couple of playwrights getting together, just exploring the medium of cinema. Why not? And Zeller had previously had this movie adapted in 2012. His play adapted. So this is not the first time that this has been made into a movie. The first one was called, appropriately enough, Le Père, because it's a French adaptation. And I'm not talking about the fruit.
Talking about the dad.
The
daddy.
The daddy. So this movie stars Anthony Hopkins, Oscar winner for this film.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Colman, Mark Gatiss, whoever that is.
He was like one of the higher ups on Sherlock. He's like a producer and actor for a bunch of BBC stuff. He plays Sherlock's like brother or whatever.
Okay, so he's
a bald guy.
So he's a British guy then.
Yeah, he's got a really pointy nose. He's a great actor.
Wait, is Florian Zeller, is he French?
I don't know.
I keep assuming he is because they made it into Le Père.
Le Père. Is the friggin' play in French?
it would be French because this has a lot of British actors, but it was a co-production with a French company.
France.
Yeah. So anyway, other stars of the film: Rufus Sewell, Olivia Williams, not to be confused with Olivia Colman, and of course, Imogen Poots, the best name in Hollywood.
She was great.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
I assume it is.
I was like, Imogen Poots. What?
Was it Imogen?
I don't know. Or is it Imogen? Imogen Poots. She's great. I forgot about her, and then I saw her in the movie, and I was like, man, she's a good actor. What else has she been in?
The only thing I remember her being in, she's in some horror movie. I remember just because we were going to watch it once, and then everybody was laughing at the name Imogen Poots. But she actually she's in, I remember her from that Lonely Island movie Pop Star. So she plays.
Oh, she's in that?
She plays the girlfriend of Andy Samberg's character.
Oh, okay.
She's good in that movie, I think she made 2 movies with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh.
One after the other, and both of the names escape me. So there you go. This was a great little rundown of her filmography. But
let me just rattle off. You literally, the equivalent of what you just did is saying, what's 6 times 12? Like 52? Maybe 62?
But for an actor's career, it's just like doing my...
Yeah, she's in some movies.
So, so those are the people who are in the movie.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, sorry. I think I got it all wrong. So the play was called Le Père.
Oh.
So I'm gonna delete a bunch of this stuff because it really makes me look like an idiot who didn't. Or I'm gonna keep it all in just for the honesty. And as the great William Talent said, try honesty, you know?
That's great.
So the play was called Le Père. This movie's called The Father. Translation into French, Le Père. And
it's
then,
a little on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah, a little. And then in 2015, they did make an adaptation of it called Fluoride, spelled Floride. So
not fluoride, the shit in your toothpaste.
No, or Florida, the rapper. Not to be confused with either. So that movie starred Jean Rochefort and Sandrine Kyberlane, Flowride. Flowride?
Like saying really difficult names now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I love it.
And then
Imogen Poots, whatever those two people are that you just
Sandrine
said.
Kyberlane, Flowride. So Flowride.
Was it a made-for-TV movie, or was it theatrically
No, I think it was
released?
a theatrical release.
Why the hell would they remake a movie fucking like 5 years later?
Because it's a different language. That happens all the time. It's in French.
Oh, like
It's en
let the
français.
right ones in. En français, est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes? Am
Yes,
I right?
exactly. Yes.
May I go to the bathroom, please?
So you know who Jean Roquefort is?
No.
If you saw a picture of him, you'd recognize him because he is
Should I
pretty
Google
much
him
the
right
Anthony Hopkins of France.
Oh, yeah. Okay. John Roquefort. R-O-C?
Rocheforte. No, sorry, no, there's no E at the end. Like the cheese. Roquefort. Also, earlier this year, after they won the Oscars, they announced that they are going to direct the adaptation of The Son, which is the sequel to the father of the play.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so he had a follow-up. It's like a trilogy, I guess. So he has
What the hell's the second movie going to be about?
the mother, the father, and the son are the trilogy. And then he
Wow.
also has two other plays that are connected to each other and are like
The cousin.
thematic, yes. Thematically connected, called The Truth and the Lie.
Okay.
Yeah. So The Truth and the Lie are connected. The mother and the son and the father are all connected. And then there's like thematic connections between them all. So that's a little kind of, Zeller's a bit of a George Lucas of the theater scene, I guess.
No kidding. Franchises all the way.
Just franchised, yeah. So the
What a
father
fucking
franchise.
sellout.
Just friggin' in like 10, 15 years after like the hype over the father dies down, it's going to come back up again. And the friggin' father fans, they're going to just have their father cons. They're going to have father cons, and then they're going to just get obnoxious on the internet and get mad. And then the son of Ryan Johnson is going to make like a sequel in like the next trilogy of the father, the son, and the mother, or whatever, the cousin, and people are going to get so mad, but it's really because of the sexism. They hate the mother the most.
Yeah, well, they always do, don't they? I guess the issue is, there's nothing original, even theater-based, work. It's like still just a bunch of sellouts,
I
making
know.
the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, just making
Iron Man 3, The Mom, or whatever it's going to be called, Ma Mère.
Yeah, the mayor.
Yeah. And then there's going to be a spin-off, like a comedy spin-off called Who's Your Daddy?
Yeah, of course. Who's your daddy? So I believe the son, which is the follow-up to the father, is not about... I mean, I didn't research
Dementia.
it. I'm just making this up. I have no idea what it's about. But it's going to star Hugh Jackman, Laura Dern, and Vanessa Kirby, who I assume she can inhale things and assume their form.
Nice.
But
she's a great actor.
Probably. Have I seen her in something?
She's in The Crown, first 2 seasons of The Crown.
Okay, never seen it.
And then she was in that movie, Netflix movie where she gives birth and they do that famous oneer with Shia LaBeouf and her, and then their baby dies.
Oh, I didn't see
It was
that either.
a big deal last year.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Very popular.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I almost said Scent of a Woman, but that's an Al Pacino film.
Wow.
I feel like it's something Woman is the name of the film, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
It was quite good. I was very emotional
Is it
at the end of it.
Sense of a Woman?
No, that's
Like SENSE?
No, I know, but that can't be right.
Yeah,
that's
that
just
can't be
like
right.
how could they name a movie so close to the Al Pacino vehicle that landed him another Oscar?
Pieces of a Woman. I'm going to guess that.
Pieces of a Woman.
I'm just kidding. I
Yeah.
didn't guess. I looked it up. But
Oh, okay. Pieces of a Woman. That makes sense. Yeah. Great movie. And she's very talented.
well, then it's going to be good.
And then she has a cool movie with Catherine. Is it Catherine Waterston? The female lead from Inherent Vice.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it's like the early 19th century or whatever, and then they become lovers, but they're both in loveless marriages.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. She makes like cool movies.
Way to go, Vanessa.
Kirby.
Kirby?
Not the video game character.
Not the video game character.
Kirby's a good time. I haven't played Kirby in a long time, but fond memories.
Oh yeah, it's a good time.
Do you have Kirby for the GameCube?
Which one?
Just any.
I do not know.
Okay.
I have Smash Bros, which he features in, but I do not have Kirby's Air
Kirby
Ride
game. Yeah.
Or I think maybe the other one's called Return to Dreamland, but that might have been a Wii game. A bit of a Kirby file.
Yeah, you know a lot about Kirby.
But I can't remember I don't think he had a platforming game on the GameCube. He just had Kirby's Air Ride, which was you would have been into because it's a skateboarding game. But he rides on a star.
What? Oh, yes.
Yeah, we got to find that game for you.
Oh, man, yeah. If any canines out there have that game, send it to me specifically.
Please email the game from justin2kane@gmail.com.
Or Facebook, I guess. Yeah.
So back
Meta,
to the talking about the movies. We love to riff.
We digress.
Oh, do we ever digress?
The podcast should be called Digression.
Of course.
Digression.
Yes, very good.
Thank you. Ugh.
So The Son is not a sad movie in the same way that this is, where it's about dementia and it kind of like plays with reality. The Son is about a dad who just can't connect with his son, who is a teenager. It's just about fighting with your child. So, but it features the same characters, of which I did not research, so I don't know which ones feature. So it could be a prequel to the father, or it could be the dad or the male lead in, the father is. They have a kid, Olivia Colman, and what's his putz?
That guy.
Yeah, that guy who I mentioned earlier.
Guy with the great jawline.
His name is Rufus Sewell. But then also he is also played by Mark Gatiss. Remember the multiple actors play the same character? Which is a cool
Mark Gatiss is it's great. It's so simple and it works very well.
And you couldn't do that in a play. I mean, you could, but it would be I
think that's exactly what they did.
Well, then never mind.
I'm pretty sure that's the exact device they used in the play.
Yeah.
Was that he never changed, but all of the actors around him would. If you get good actors, they can do that, like be each other,
And also the set would change in the play from what I read. So they would take away props
right
every once in a while.
Well, that's what's happened. It's cool because that's what they did in the movie too.
They did in the movie.
Picture goes away, and then it's great.
And there's like the walls change color. Pretty cool. Very minimal use of special effects. Basically, special effects of the mind, really. No actual special effects.
Truly cinematic special effects.
Yeah, this movie, while pretty much a filmed play, is the essence of cinema, really.
Isn't it crazy that that's not even a bit? That's kind of true.
It's kind of true, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, more facts, or just stuff to talk about, rather. So Anthony Hopkins did not show up for his Oscar win last year, remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, right? He's like...
Well, he didn't even do a video, I don't think. They were just like, Anthony Hopkins won, and it was the last award of the night, remember? Did you watch the Oscars last year?
Yes.
It was the last award of the night. He didn't show up for it, and then the whole thing just ended on a super anticlimactic note. And I think he was either visiting his mother's grave that night, because it was some sort of anniversary of her death, or he couldn't
asleep.
Yeah, he was asleep, I think. Because
didn't he famously say he's like, the Oscars happened too late. I was in bed already.
Yeah, and he was also on the other side of the world. He didn't even fly there.
I love that.
Yeah, he was somewhere in England. But also, he couldn't, as he would have said, he couldn't be arsed to go. What? That's what British people say. Couldn't be arsed.
What?
So anyway,
is that what they say?
They say couldn't be arsed.
Kidding.
That's a phrase.
Couldn't be arsed.
So this. If you have played the father, if you played the titular father,
great use of that word.
Odds are you have won an award for it, because apparently a man named Kenneth Cranham, a very British sounding name, won an Olivier, which is also a very British sounding award.
Yes.
In 2016, when they did the London production of Le Père, or they probably called it the Père, the father, because it was in London. Frank Langella also won a Tony for the theater English language theater version, And what's his face? Jean Roquefort also won whatever the French Oscars called. Or was it maybe
Oscar.
nominated? Anyway.
That's amazing.
Also, here's a really fun fact. Apparently, the director changed the character's name to Anthony because he wanted to like manifest Anthony Hopkins in the movie. Because so when he was writing the script, he's like, I want Anthony Hopkins to play the father. So he just changed the character's name to Anthony.
I was wondering, I hate when character names are just the first name of the actor playing them.
Yeah.
That always takes me out of it.
Yeah, so he did that as
because they're always like, Tony or Anthony.
Yeah.
And then it's like, that's his actual name. Fuck. Weirds me out.
He did it kind of as like a little bit of like trying to make his fanfic come to life a little bit.
Right.
But it worked, obviously. They also used that when he was directing him. He was basically just like, you are Anthony. When people are talking to you, just use your own experiences and whatnot. So it helped Anthony Hopkins supposedly a little bit get into character because he was, I guess, just imagining himself as an old freaking demented dude.
I guess here's another similarity real quick.
Which is a very insensitive way of talking about it. But
star Anthony.
Anthony?
Yeah, because Anthony Michael Hall.
You're right.
A gnome named Gnorm. A gnome named Gnorm.
You're right.
And Anthony Hopkins. Both extremely famous actors who had very long, fruitful careers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not wrong. Anthony Michael Hall's still around.
Yeah, is he working?
He is every once in a while, yeah. He usually kind of just plays a jerk. Like he'll have a cell phone in a fancy car and he'll be a jerk kind of, but he'll be an older guy instead of a teen.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, I've seen him. He kind of has a mean mug now. He's only 53. Wow. He does not look great.
I swear I saw him on Community.
He probably was. Oh, yeah, he's in Foxcatcher and The Dark Knight.
Yeah, he's actually kind of done better for himself in the last couple of years, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
He's done super well.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Breakfast Club, but...
He was in Freddy Got Fingered.
That's right, he was. He did. Yeah, he was the agent, like the animation guy in Freddy Got Fingered. He was also in Halloween Kills recently. So there you go. Chris Angel's Mind Freak. He was also in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, which is cool.
And I guess Christopher Nolan connection to both movies.
Huh?
Anthony Michael Hall was in The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan. Logic applies to the father.
Right.
So
I was really wondering where you're going with that. I thought you were just going to say, like, he's British.
And also he's British. There you go. It's also a British production. So anyway, I'm almost done talking about this. So the French version of the movie, La Père, was very different from the play because Florian Zeller had really nothing to do with it.
Oh.
So they just kind of ran with it and made their own. They just took the story and just kind of did their own thing with it.
Weird.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. It looks to be a little bit more of a romp. Like he gets
a funny dementia story.
Well, it's the type of movie, the Princess here in town?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
But it will often program movies for boomers.
Yeah.
It kind of just plays
older folk.
Yeah, it's like it just kind of plays the Marigold Hotel kind of vibe of movies where it's like old people kind of getting one last chance to rediscover their youth. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what the French adaptation of the play was more like. It's just like, you're getting demented, dude. You gotta live it up. That's the vibe I got from like the trailer and the poster. Because there's a picture of him in a car and smiling. And in the father, the English one, he is not smiling.
No, he's upset the whole time. He's upset. Understandably.
Anyway, that's all I got for the father.
That's good.
Sure, yeah.
That's way more than what I friggin' got.
Well, I had to overcompensate.
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
That's Shrek.
From Justin to Kane, honestly, a really fun podcast. But they talk about Shrek just a little too much.
Honestly, we should just do a from Shrek to Shrek.
To Shrek.
So we talk about Shrek 2 and then just Shrek 1. We compare
just
Shrek
comparing.
1.
Yeah. I like
Shrek
that.
2, people say it's good, but
some people say it's better.
Some people say it's better. I disagree.
Yeah. It's like The Empire Strikes Back. I think I might agree. I haven't seen Shrek 2 in
Well, then we got to do
from
Shrek
time.
to Shrek. From Shrek 2 to Shrek?
Shrek 2 to Shrek. Oh, God.
People are just like, I hate this podcast.
So what happens when you record at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Hell
it's
yeah.
like,
Don't reveal our secrets.
It's Friday morning. Shit.
So tell me about a gnome named Gnorm.
A gnome named Gnorm, a.k.a. Upworld, a.k.a. Nomocop.
Yes.
Released. This movie's actually kind of fucked up because it was made in 1988, released limited in 1990, re-released broadly in 1992.
Oh, well, hold on. I just came up with a connection between the two movies.
Oh, here we go.
They both have different titles in different countries, in different languages.
That's right.
The title is in a different language in a different country.
That's right. I like that. That's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Or they have multiple titles. Le Père, The Father, Fluoride, Nomocop. Florida.
You know what's funny about Florida is when I was a kid, I was like, that's just Florida.
Yeah, that's why it's clever.
Yeah. Is it clever, though?
Yes.
No. Anyways, released in 1990 officially, but it was a limited release or whatever. I don't know why. This is the second film directed by none other than Stan Winston, who's like an OG legend in Hollywood creature effects makeup.
That's right, yeah.
I'll get more into him after, but like his career, that is. But Stan Winston, he directed Pumpkinhead, won a bunch of awards. Apparently that's a great horror movie. He directed this, and then this was his last movie, I think, that he directed. He just did some shorter projects, and then he did the famous
Michael Jackson video?
Ghosts. And he directed the T2 3D Battle Across Time video short that's on the like amusement park ride.
Was Ghosts also an amusement park thing?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't think it was. I have seen it.
I don't think so.
I watched it. They played it on Much Music on Halloween once. And I watched the whole thing, and it was just a lot of Michael Jackson and an army of CGI skeletons dancing, which sounds awesome, but it's a lot of just them stomping and going, ah! You know when Michael Jackson yells?
Yeah.
It's just like, ah! And they're skeletons. So actually, the way that when I'm describing it, it sounds amazing.
Oh, you know what? I've seen Pumpkinhead.
Oh, have you now?
Because it stars Lance Henriksen. I remember this movie. It is not good.
Is it a horror movie with creature effects, though?
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm interested.
No, it is. It's fun. Like, it's based off of an old poem.
Oh, really?
It's good. It's like, it's fun, but it's not like captivating. You're just kind of watching it because things are cool.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that describes every movie, really.
Yeah, but like the plot is bad. But yeah, the Pumpkinhead thing is super cool. And like Stan Winston, obviously that's like his whole bag. That came out in 88, and then this movie came out in 1990. But let's just go through his his like special effects and creature effects is like where his real magic is. Let's just see, because like so he came to really prominent fame with Terminator. He's a longtime collaborator of James Cameron, and at one point they formed a company together, but after Titanic and its massive success, they decided to fold the company and part ways. I don't know why, probably some like personal stuff.
So was Stan Winston involved in Titanic?
He was.
Wow, he must have made some money.
I think he did some effects for it, yeah.
Wow, good for him.
But yeah, he did the Terminator, Aliens, Predator 2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Jurassic Park. He built that live-action T-Rex.
Yes.
Small Soldiers, great film. Really good film. Inspector Gadget, which is like a crazy movie. Galaxy Quest, AI, Artificial Intelligence was a huge gig for him.
Yes. Not a huge film, though, was it? Wasn't that one of
artificial intelligence?
Yeah, wasn't it one of Spielberg's like stinkers in terms of box
Money.
office?
Yeah, but it was like critically acclaimed.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Big
That
Fish,
bear.
Constantine, Benchwarmers,
Interesting.
Iron Man, because they had a bunch of like live action Iron Man stuff before they figured out that they didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more. So in the makeup department, because he did Batman as well. Oh yeah, here we go. So he did The Wiz, Friday the 13th, Part 2, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns. Interview with a Vampire, The Vampire Chronicles, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, makeup supervisor for none other than Fat Bastard.
Of course.
Pearl Harbor. Oh, Tideland. Interesting. I have some friends who worked on Tideland.
Didn't they film that in Calgary or something?
No, they filmed it in Saskatchewan, I think.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, his career is insane. He won 4 Oscars.
Wait, did you already say Jurassic Park?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I said that early on.
That
He
was
built
one of
the
the first
T-Rex,
ones.
which is super famous.
Yeah.
But really, I guess what's just so incredible is he did the Terminator, like Metal Skeleton,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a friggin' live-action T-Rex. Like, that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, these LaCroix are really fucking me up. It's great.
And
They're
it's
so
also-
bubbly.
It's not the 30 pounds of sushi you also ate?
Oh, that's not helping either.
Yeah.
I'm just putting fizzy on top of fishy. You know what I mean? Ugh.
Well, yeah, you've heard of what's it called, surf and turf?
Well, yeah. What is that? It's like
Surf
you
and
drink.
turf is when you eat a fish or when you eat seafood and like a land meat.
At the same time,
Like in the same
lobster and steak.
Yeah, if you have a surf and turf, is like when you have lobster.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
So you had a fish and fizz.
fish and fizz, exactly. Surf and turf would be so bad for you. I feel.
Oh
like.
yeah. Well, just if you're like, I'm gonna eat meat, in it to the degree that it has kind of a funny rhyming name, like we have to
Mhm.
like make kind of a joke out of this so that I don't feel like a complete like moron for doing this.
Yeah, fuck.
Just justifying
turf.
bad behavior with jokes.
I'm gonna text you at some point in the future, and I'm just gonna say surf and turf, and you'll say, "No, I'm a vegetarian."
Yeah.
I'll be like, soy-based surf and turf.
I mean, I could have a surf and turf too. I just eat a plant from the land and a plant from the water. So I'll just have seaweed. I mean, I've
For
had a
some
surf
reason-
and turf before. I've had like a seaweed wrap, where you wrap vegetables and seaweed.
For some reason, though, surf and turf with vegetables just seems more respectable and less ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it is literally turf.
Yeah, like grass. You're just
Yeah.
eating grass. You're just a little cow munching grass.
Yeah. So, what else about Sam Winston? What else about Stan Winston?
So when he started out, he wanted to be an actor, but after a
Yes.
long period of time without any work, he started apprenticing under somebody in the makeup department at Walt Disney Studios. And then in 1972, which wasn't that long later, he started his studio, Stan Winston Studios, which is still in existence today. And he has a school, the Stan Winston School, for like creature effects and makeup. And he died in 2008.
He's dead?
He's dead. Yeah, he died in 2008.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember when he died.
Huh.
Yeah, I wasn't very old. I was 11, but I remember it.
It's
Because I was obsessed with him when I was younger.
It's friggin' insane, the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, because it's like a scaled T-Rex.
It's like full size.
Yeah, that's wild.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah.
Wow, what a guy.
What a guy.
Well,
What
just
a
all
guy.
of the animatronic dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are so cool.
But you know what's really cool too are the baby T-Rexes are just people in suits,
Yes.
and they look so good.
Yeah.
And that was all Stan Winston as well, and his team, of course, his army of people who are good at molding clay. And
Way to
stuff.
go, Stan.
Way to go. Yeah, way to go. Anyways, he won a bunch of Oscars. There's like not much else to say. Seemed like a pretty solid guy all around.
But what about his fall from grace with a gnome named Gnorm?
It's so weird. I like scouring the internet. I couldn't find any sort of like documentation explaining why he made the movie, if it killed his directing career, or if he just realized that he didn't want to be a director. Like, I think Stan Winston is a good example of like how somebody can be a great film worker and be a terrible like filmmaker and director. You know what I mean?
Was this movie before or after Jurassic Park? Okay.
It was before. Sorry, Jurassic
Okay.
Park was right after.
So
Yeah.
this was so Jurassic Park was a win,
Mhm.
whereas a Gnorm was not.
Well, a gnome named Gnorm, and then he went on to do Edward Scissorhands, the second Batman movie, Jurassic Park, and T2.
Yeah, so he had a bunch of hits shortly after this massive flop.
Mhm. But he wasn't the director of any of them.
No, of course not. But he at least was like, at least I'm not cursed.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to believe he has a curse on him.
And apparently the Michael Jackson music video that's 39 minutes long is very good, in quotes.
Having seen it, hard disagree. It feels like it's 39 minutes long.
Oh, wow. That says a lot, doesn't it?
And I don't mean that in the sense that it could feel like it's 3 hours long, but it doesn't
feel its runtime.
It feels its runtime. Yeah. You're just like, this is a 39-minute long music video. This is not like a 3.5 minute long music video. But then I
wonder if John Landis, like Stan Winston did that, and John Landis was just like, you piece of shit. Like, you just had to one up the Thriller video.
Yeah, but the Thriller video is still better.
Oh, yeah. It's an amazing music video. And it's a respectable length.
Exactly.
It's like 11 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was it's good. And everything John Landis has done in his career, it has been good. Everything. Great. Is there anything else about Gnome Game Gnorm?
If I'm being honest, no.
You don't need to lie.
There was so little. I thought this movie was going to have a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I thought that, you should do this movie because I wanted just to see what you do with it, because it'd be like, well, I'm sure there's a lot of fun facts out there, and Bob will love kind of going into the weeds on this movie a little bit.
Well, I wanted to like talk about what Gnorm was made out of and like who puppeted and what it was like to puppet, but I couldn't really find anything.
Yeah, we're gonna have to buy the Criterion Blu-ray of this and watch it with a commentary.
I would. I honestly would.
Yeah. Because you love this movie.
Yeah. Because
you love
it.
It's your favorite
just to be clear, A Gnome Named Gnorm is our good film, and The Father is the bad film, right?
Yeah,
I just want to make that clear.
That's right, yeah. No, that's wrong.
What?
It's the opposite. But you thought that you like this movie. I mean, we can review it at the end of this podcast, but
I enjoyed it. I love like stupid puppet movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a movie doesn't have to be good for you to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Well, let's break down some freaking similarities then.
Some similarities, some samesies.
Some
we should call it
samesies,
samesies.
Yeah, okay.
These
that's
films
good.
are samesies.
These movies are so samesies. I'm going to start with a classic from Justin Decane, Samesy. Canesies doing samesies?
Oh, wow.
No, okay, so canines. What about we say same nines? So when people are like, what are they saying? Is because like, well, you have to kind of like understand the lore of the podcast. And the lore is that the fans are called canines, like a dog.
Yes.
And then that rhymes with same nines.
We're actively trying to make this podcast harder to get into if you're just starting.
Oh, I know.
Just so alienating.
Yeah, there should be a printable glossary.
Yeah.
Well, someone need to start a friggin' lore wiki for us. We need
when you join Scientology, you get like the Dianetics books, and you're like, you should read these up so you know what you're getting into. It's like that with us. We should have our own version of Dianetics.
That's great. I love that for us.
Yeah. I think it'd be great. We'd probably get, it would help our listenership.
I agree. So look for that on our merch page.
Great. On our Facebook
marketplace ad, which is our merch page.
We don't have a merch website. We just have like a Kijiji profile. We just sell our merch on Kijiji.
That's honestly, you have to live in the town in order to get it.
Yeah, but it's just like, hey, like you got to come pick it up and like cash only, please.
Yeah, I love that.
We never want the CRA to find out that we're making a ton of money off of our shitty shirts.
Yeah, we have an ICP-esque warehouse of merch. but we sell it on Kijiji.
Yeah.
Cane Gigi, we call it.
I love, just so scrappy. Aren't we scrappy? It's
We're
great.
real scrappy. We're
Couple of
just
scrappy guys.
Couple of scrappy
We're wearing a house
bros.
coat.
I'm wearing a house coat, yeah.
I ate too much sushi. Just a couple of scrappy guys talking about movies.
So the similarity or the samey I was going to do is they're both about titular characters. They're both titular films. So Norm named Norm and the father are both the titular characters.
That's great. That's a good one.
Of course it's great. We pretty much everybody, like most of the movies we do are titular films for some reason. Rarely do we do a movie where the title describes like a theme or something like that, or is like a phrase.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Both films have male characters trapped indoors. So you have Anthony, Tony, and you have Norm. And Norm is stuck in that cage, and then he's like handcuffed, and he's trying to get out. He wants to go to the sun to get his like rock to glow for the down world, I guess.
Oh yeah, right, the friggin' rock.
But he's trapped. Anthony Michael Hall's like, not happening. And Anthony Michael Hall is kind of like Anthony's daughter.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Son-in-law, like just kind of trapped, you know.
I was gonna say, samey here is a caregiver character. Or someone who is kind of like the warden of the titular character is kind of like put to the test by the titular character, and also has to make sacrifices in order to get that character what they want, or just to make the other character happy. I mean,
and I guess like another thing too that's similar with both films and kind of relates to that is that like the main sort of character, the titular character, is living in a world that they no longer understand.
That's right. Good.
Right. So, because Normie, as we Gnormy, he's not meant to be on the surface. He's supposed to be down somewhere.
What was the name of the jewel that he likes? The lumen?
I think it's called a lumen. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Let me look it up. I can't remember. I just called it a rock because I'm such a good podcaster. I really do my research.
So both the titular characters in both movies are obsessed with like a piece of jewelry. Kind of.
Oh.
Because the father, Anthony Hopkins' character, always wants like the watch that the other guy's wearing because he thinks that he stole his watch.
That's right.
Because that's like a thing when people have dementia, they get confused and they think that people are stealing their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's a friggin' samey right there. And I'm trying on this word samey, and I got to say, I'm liking it. I love the feeling in the mouth.
I like that you like it. That's nice.
I like
samesies.
I like the feeling in the mouth of saying samesies. I don't like the phrase feeling in the mouth, though, that I have said.
Yeah, it's like, you know what has great mouthfeel? The word samesies.
Yeah.
You know what has terrible mouthfeel? Mouthfeel.
Yeah.
The phrase.
So true. So good.
Both films have characters looking and acting as one character, but really there's someone else. So as the dementia sort of like affects Anthony's perspective, he sees somebody and they look different and they behave differently than he remembers them to be. And so that adds to his confusion. And basically the whole friggin' movie of A Gnome Named Gnorm is that they're trying to find this person who doesn't exist until they realize that the person was there the whole time, and it's the police chief.
Yeah.
And the police chief is pretending to be the good guy and being your buddy, but really he's bad guy. So that's the samey.
There's a samey right there, and that there's a character who kind of is seen to betray, the good characters or the main other main characters, I guess.
Right.
Because the police chief, betrays everybody, and Anthony Hopkins just thinks everybody's like trying to trick him.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's a good one.
So there's some good ones. Both films have a character who kind of just says what he thinks, is kind of mean and inappropriate at times, and has a horny energy sometimes also.
Yes.
So kind of an inappropriate.
The horniness I had written down.
Yeah, of course you did. Most movies I find are very horny on this podcast. But yeah, so the father, Anthony Hopkins says inappropriate things a lot of the time. It's kind of mean to people. He's a real crank. And Norm is an extremely unlikable character. He's just kind of an a-hole to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's also extremely horny. And here's a massive spoiler for the movie. One of the last lines that is spoken in the film, Norm turns to Anthony Michael Hall, who is with the token female love interest in the movie, and he says, "Make her toes curl," and then he goes underground. And it's like, is that a reference to some other part in the movie? Why did he say that specific phrase that's so disturbing and gross? Because it's not even funny. It's like kind of like a very, very horny thing to say. Very specific and
appropriate.
Yeah.
Make her toes curl.
And then they just laugh. They laugh, but he's...
She also, like, they kiss, like Norm and the female
That's right,
lead.
he does kiss with her.
And then
yeah.
she has to be like, okay, that's enough. And he just, like, keeps wanting to smooch her with his gross little leather face.
Yeah, very, very bad energy from Norm.
So if I may sort of jump on your just most recent samey, here's the samey. Both films have a lot of great bobos.
Yeah, okay, go on. What are the good bobos?
Just all the bobos in The Father. Great bobos.
Okay.
I assume. There's a lot of clothing being worn, but I assume great bobos.
Yeah.
And then you got bobos all over the place, and friggin' Gnome named Gnorm.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, so if people don't know what bobos are, because I think that this little samey won't track for anybody because you haven't defined a bobo.
A bobo is a booby.
Yeah. There's a part in a gnome named Norm where he looks through binoculars, or he's looking through a fence and he just sees a bikini, like the chest of a bikini-clad woman, and then he says, "Ooh, bobos."
Giant bobos.
So he knows what human breasts
so
are.
Funny. Yeah, it's confusing. Like where they, like what he knows and what he doesn't know doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I know. That's the thing.
It's like he's like he
understands
and is attracted to human women.
Yeah,
but he doesn't know what a car is. He doesn't really know what food is. Clothing, like it's just funny. It just doesn't make any sense.
You know what is a good movie for this problem that a lot of movies have, where it's like a character who's a fish out of water in a world that was never meant for him.
Mm-hmm.
A movie that does this really well is and you're going to love this, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Because Sonic is an alien from another planet who comes to Earth, and so he watches the humans from afar and studies them and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he understands and learns how a lot of things work before he, starts interacting with humans. And then,
that's a good point.
Yeah. Whereas, most movies where there's a fish out of water, they're sometimes there's like this weird line where they will sometimes know what something is. They'll make a pop culture reference to something that they would have never experienced.
Yeah.
But then also they'll be like, what is a knife? What is a fork? I'm pooping on my own head. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Is Norm illiterate?
I assume not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he seems...
Because I guess he can speak English, sort of. But also not really.
Yeah, they don't explain why he knows the language, considering how long he's been there, which is not long enough to understand.
Well, he talks like a baby.
He does talk like a baby, and his voice, I would say, is very annoying character choice.
Yes.
Because he's like, oh, bobos. But it's not, like, cute. He's also just an ugly character. Gotta say
He's probably... Of all the films we've done so far, and we've done a lot, including Leprechaun films.
Yes.
This is the ugliest character we've ever seen.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
I think, like, he's uglier than anything you see in Street Trash.
Well, also, he's supposed to be cute, but literally he's not even like a gnome in, like, the cute, like, white beard, red cone hat kind of sense. Yeah. He's just like a furry man. He kind of is like
he's just like a pervert dog.
Yeah, he's like
just a horny dog with a red rocket running around looking for bobos.
Yeah, it's true. Honestly, Norm represents all of us, really. Isn't that why we're all here, just to look for bobos?
Yeah, looking for bobos. That's right.
Giant bobos.
Speaking of Norm and his quest for bobos and his, what'd you call it, red rocket or something?
His red rocket, yeah.
There's a scene where the police chief is just like, strip him, because there's
that's right.
There's some odd like police moments in this movie. Every movie that has police stuff in it now, when you watch it, just feels weird.
Yeah,
but there's a because something that was funny maybe in the 80s now is just like,
hugely problematic.
yeah, this cop is a bastard, as the acronym implies.
What's insane, they're trying to do the medical stuff on him.
Yeah.
Like take his blood and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. But also, I guess it's because he's a tunneler, but his skin is so tough that metal can't pierce it.
Exactly. So, two similarities or two samesies here. One, a person is kind of like experimented on, or is like a doctor deals with the titular character. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of The Father, spoiler alert, he finds himself in an old folks home and is like talking to like a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then also two characters or one character in each of the film likely has a massive hog. Because Gnorm, it's implied he has a massive hog because they are using a ruler.
Yes.
Remember? But then the ruler is blocking the hog's view from the camera. But
That's right. And the female lead walks in and does like the gasps. Up and down and then leaves. Yeah. Big hog.
Yeah.
There's I just watched Zola, the A24 movie.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was fine. But there's a scene like, she's like, their clients are coming. These men are all coming and they get like 15 minutes with her. And then there's just like this sequence of just like close-ups of dicks. Yeah. And then there's this like massive dick comes out and that just like the heart emoticon pops up beside it really quickly. And I thought it was kind of this like funny, weird moment in the film. They just did it so quickly amongst all these other penises. Yeah. It was great.
Some good...
great bean roll.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the father probably has a massive hog. That's as far as I'm going to go with the similarity there.
Great. That's all you need. What else do you need?
At least one of the characters, if not the father, someone has a massive hog in this movie.
Yes. Both films sort of feel like two-handers.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's really Olivia Colman and Anthony.
Yes.
Just kind of getting their shit and figuring it out. And you got Anthony Michael Hall and Norm. Yeah. Just doing stuff together. Everyone else is sort of irrelevant.
Yeah, I'll jump on that samesy that you just did.
Okay.
Both films kind of have three kind of main characters that are on their whatever their quest is in each film. Because in A Gnome Named Norm, it's the Anthony Michael Hall, the titular Gnorm. And then there's also like the police woman who just kind of exists as a vague love interest for Anthony Michael Hall and as somebody for Norm to sexually harass constantly. And them just laugh it off. It's like, oh, Norm, you weird perverted dog character.
You get that all the time, Mike.
But anyway, so there's kind of three main characters, and then like there's an emotionally hardened woman as one of them, I would say, is the samesy, because Olivia Colman's character has become hardened, I would say, just by dealing with her father.
Nice. Yeah.
And then the woman in Gnorm, I don't remember her character's name, but she is kind of gets hardened by, the constant sexual harassment, of course. Yep. But then also just being a cop and having to, being too old for this shit and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's Claudia Christian, and she's Detective Samantha.
That's right.
Also, what about this is sort of a departure, but that scene with the hearse, and then the coffin falls out and explodes, and that guy does mouth-to-mouth to the dead body, was so disturbing.
Yeah, that's so strange.
It was not funny.
Yeah, that's so weird. Why? Yeah.
Sam Winston, bad director.
Is this a kid's movie?
It's PG, yes. I'm just looking at a VHS sleeve of it right now, actually, and it says PG, parental guidance.
Are both of these movies PG?
I think so.
Yeah, there you go. There's another samesy right there.
You don't see anything inappropriate in
No, I don't think there's any cursing, is there? There must be they might drop an F-bomb.
Aren't you allowed like one?
Yeah, something like that.
A gnome named Norm.
Gnome. Here's a samesy for you.
Oh, yeah. Hit me with it, buddy.
A titular character is missing or is away from his wife. Because in The Father, she dead.
I would assume so.
And then,
but also he's like a bit of a playboy, so maybe they're just like divorced.
Yeah, maybe. But she's not anywhere around.
She's not in the picture.
No.
Awkward.
And then in Gnome named Gnorm, she's down in the down world or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. It's funny, that Norm was just doing it all for a girl.
I know, he's trying to impress her.
He's still just looking at other people's bobos.
I know. Yeah, he's
like horny for his species and other species. It's like how humans are like, oh yeah, like I'm into humans, but also dolphins.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's the same thing.
There should have been a scene where Norm saw a dog, like a pregnant dog, and was like, 8 bobos?
Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah. That's fun.
I'm gonna pitch that for the remake.
Yeah. Yeah, frick, I like that. I like
a
that
gnome
a lot.
named Norm Afterlife. It's like a remake sequel.
It's a relaunch.
It's
You're
a
relaunching the franchise.
Is that what they call them
IP. Now? I don't know, man. I'm just making shit up.
Yeah, but that's the thing sometimes where they're like, oh, I'm going to it's like, it feels like a remake, but it also has stuff that kind of relates to a previous movie. So it's a sequel, clearly, also.
Mm-hmm.
A remequel.
Yes.
My last samey is a director is coming from a different skill set or a different kind of thing.
Different discipline.
Different discipline, yeah. It's like that's their thing. So, I mean, he's a writer, Florian. And director, I guess.
And a theater director.
And then he brings that specific skill set to directing a film. So there you go. There's a little samey right there.
I like that. That's good. It is interesting that both films are like, yeah, I wonder like if Stan Winston wanted to be a director and then he like gave it a shot. He was just like, I don't know if this is for me. Or if he just like really wanted to do it and people were like, we can't give you money anymore. Like, it's just not working, man. Like, nothing you've made has shown us that you can do this. Because pretty much his whole track record, all 6 projects are farts in the wind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not very good. Stinky little dust clouds blowing in the wind.
But man, can he make a reptilian beast out of a bunch of whatever fabric and plastic or whatever the hell the T-Rex is made of.
They use foam rubber.
Foam rubber, right.
It's like moldable and you bake it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you clearly didn't go down the Stan Winston rabbit hole like I did when I was like 13.
Yeah, I did not. I did
over 10 years ago now. Woof.
Okay, so yeah, let's do the new segment. Maybe we've kind of just like fashioned the last chunk of our podcast into like review corner.
Well, I want you to start. I'm just curious. Did you think, like, was The Father a good pitch on my part? Like, did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Father's great. I thought it was super cool when I watched it.
Sweet.
I like the way that they tell the story through the perspective of the old guy. And you really get a sense of, like, it's not one of those things where it's like, it's not VR dementia, where you're like getting to experience it yourself. But I think it does kind of demonstrate like that kind of how that affects people in a really cool. They use the cinematic medium to demonstrate that, I think, in a cool way. So
I think
you have a lot of empathy
such a
for
disorienting
him.
Condition, and they did a good job of showing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although VR Dementia would be a pretty sweet game.
Pretty sick. Yeah, pretty sick PlayStation game.
Also, supposedly there's a dementia vaccine they're working on.
What?
No, sorry, Alzheimer's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How does it work? Do you know?
It was a vaccine. They put it in a needle in you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much of like, I don't think that it can like reverse brain age.
I think is it preventative?
I think it might be preventative.
Wow.
That might be
crazy.
be like a game changer for like the world. Like the age of Alzheimer's and dementia might be. I mean, the world of Alzheimer's might be behind us at some point.
Well, that's amazing. And it's like a classic symptom because we're living so long now as people. And then it's amazing how long we can live when certain parts of our body, like our mind or whatever, are just like completely failing. And we just keep on living. So that'd be cool if there was a way to sort of counteract that. Because I think, memory and loss of it, and also just like how you perceive things, once that starts to get super warped, it's just really challenging for people as they get older. It's terrible. I wonder, like, what's the lifespan, and is dementia a problem for the underworld, for like Gnorm and for his girlfriend and all the other people? I wonder.
I don't know. He's just like, where me lumen? You have my lumen. Where are my bobos? He's like, you never had them, Norm. You never had bobos. Oh, where's my bobos? Norm, you don't have bobos. So anyway, I thought The Father was great. And A Gnome Named Norm, and I watched it the first time. I mean, I've only seen it once. I don't know why I said the first time, but
I was like, "What? You watched it twice? Holy shit!"
When I watched it at first, as I was watching it, is what I mean.
Yes,
I didn't
very
like it.
eloquent.
I was mad at the film because it was.
Right.
I didn't like the way Norm looked. I didn't like the way he talked. I didn't like his attitude. He was a bit too fresh for me.
Was he a little too human / like furry?
Yes.
Was it just kind of like walking this fine line?
Yeah, there's something
of creepiness.
Exactly. The uncanny valley of like anthropomorphic, whatever the hell, you know.
He is. Yeah, he's like a mix between a pig, a chihuahua, and like a fucking like a raccoon or something.
Yeah.
Like it just like he didn't make a lot of sense.
But he's supposed to be a gnome, which is like a humanoid.
Yeah, it's like a little German man.
Yeah.
That's about a foot tall and fat.
Cursed.
Has a big old beard.
Yeah, cursed film. Anyway,
I wonder
the more
if there's litigation, like, because, Gnome's sort of taken by the Stan Winston film, but then you have Gnomeo and Juliet and a couple other Gnome films. I wonder what the Gnome IP is all about. Who owns that?
Some Icelandic person, probably. No, they believe in trolls.
Fairies. Isn't it fairies?
I thought it was trolls.
Oh, maybe it is trolls.
Nobody knows.
Oh, we should do Troll 2 on this.
Honestly, we should. I'm surprised we haven't yet.
Goblin. Oh, so good. Have you seen that movie?
I have.
Oh, man. They call it Troll 2, but they're goblins. Like, they never say troll. I love that. It's great.
Anyway, but thinking about A Gnome Named Norm, after I watched it, I was like, actually, this was a fun time. So I don't think I'll watch it again. But if I ever do, then I will have watched it twice. I think that's all there's to be said about that.
And then that thing about the first time you saw it will make more sense because you'll have seen it more than once.
Exactly. So when people listen to this, they'll have thought that I saw it twice, and I would have by then. So they wouldn't be wrong to think that. So anyway,
you're such a wordsmith, Mike. It's amazing.
What were your thoughts on the movie?
I love The Father. I just watched it like out of the blue. Came up on the old Amazon suggestion, so I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is like some Oscar shit, so I'll watch it. I love it because it's like short and sweet too. It just really eloquent, got to the point, didn't try to like, artistically masturbate, as it were.
Yes.
Just, it's just hanging out, doing its thing. Great story, important subject matter. And then the cast was just like top tier British actors. They were all amazing. And a gnome named Gnorm. It's fun to see Anthony Michael Hall when he was trying to be the Ryan Reynolds of the 90s.
Yes.
Like the hot funny guy. His hair's a little longer. He's like the good looking one, but he's just not very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, but overall terrible film. And it's fun to see somebody who's so prolific and successful in another field eat shit so hard as a director. There's something, it's just a good example of like, not everyone can do it.
Exactly.
Nor should they.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'd say, The Father is 5 Bobos out of 5.
Yes,
and
good.
A Gnome Named Norm, 1.5 Bobos.
Well, our usual rating system is a milk bone, so would they not be milk Bobos? Which maybe is a little too on the nose.
That's a little too La Viva Lacti or whatever.
Yeah.
Milk
okay.
Bobos.
So what were your ratings again? Sorry.
5 Bobos and 1.5 Bobos.
On a scale of 5?
Out of 5, yeah.
Yeah, so
5 out of 5 Bobos.
So an odd number of Bobos?
Yeah. Like a Total Recall style. That lady, she's got 3 Bobos. It's like that.
Yeah, right.
Somebody stands beside her. 5 Bobos.
Okay, so I give The Father also 5 Bobos.
Yeah.
And I give the Gnome Named Norm, I'll give it 2 Bobos.
Nice. A full set, as it were.
A full set of Bobos. And so and the amount that Norm saw when he exclaimed, "Oh, Bobos!"
Yeah. Ugh. I wonder where that puppet is now. You know how like people collect puppets, like the stop motion puppets from Rudolph and stuff. Well, I wonder if somebody just has Norm in their attic.
Honestly, this is such a funny thing. Every once in a while, there will be there'll be like the website for film auction stuff. It'll be like, hey, buy this old, suit from the Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the way that the stuff is made, like the rubber, it actually decomposes in a really like fast way.
Yeah.
So like there's a picture. I just remember when they're like, buy the original Donatello suit, but it just looked like Donatello had had rotted. He had got some sort of flesh-eating disease.
Oh,
and then there's like animatronic teeth are like kind of like in there,
exposed.
Exposed.
Yeah. Oh,
so it just looked
more horrifying.
It looked horrifying. So anyway, I assume Gnorm has a similar fate because of what he was made out of.
Yeah, I mean they really don't hold up, do they?
No, not really.
Same with stop motion puppets, like Jack Skellington and stuff. Like they're all in really rough shape now, and collectors have to like get them refurbished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I love that though. I love that.
Maybe
it's like
I know what I'm
like
getting you for Christmas.
What is it?
A scale reproduction of Gnorm.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then a speech bubble that says, "Hey, Mike, I like your bobos."
Thank you. And I'm just gonna get you his hog and a ruler beside it, or a meter stick, I guess.
That's funny.
Good times.
I love it.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of From Justin to Kane. Email us at fromjustin2kane@gmail.com or
the number 2.
No, there's no number 2. Jeez, you always screw this up.
Oh my god.
And then all of our social media is from Justin to Kane, but the word 2 is replaced with the number 2 because we only had so many letters that they would let us use, So so just go on social media, follow us Twitter, Letterboxd, Facebook, I guess, and that's it. Thank you.
I've never seen you more dead inside than right now as you explain how people can reach out.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Say the damn ass catchphrase.
This feels over.
It sure does. Next week's movies are what, Bob?
We're gonna be watching Tammy and the T-Rex. Okay, as well as Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
It's gonna be a doozy. It's gonna be a doozy.
It'll be a doozy. Finally, we do a doozy episode.
Yeah, you've all been asking for more of a doozy, and I think we're finally providing.
Okay, great.
So catch us next week when we figure out that Tammy and the T-Rex and Shawshank Redemption are one and the same film.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
Giant pawpaws.